Introducing Adam Schlegel. Adam, I am pleased to congratulate you as one of this year's honorees of the Distinguished Alumni Award. As the owner of Chook Charcoal Chicken, in addition to bringing the incredibly popular Denver Public Market and Snooze and AM Eatery to our community, your contributions to the Denver dining scene are renowned. In 2018, you partnered with James Beard award-winning chef Alex Seidel to create a casual, healthy, affordable, and delicious rotisserie chicken shop, Chook Charcoal Chicken. What's more, Chook donates a portion of its sales directly back to the local community. Your leadership as CEO of Cumulus, etc., a consulting company focused on food, beverage, agriculture, and sustainability, demonstrates the expertise you bring across multiple fields of entrepreneurship, management, and socially conscious business practices. As a member of the boards of Visit Denver and the Colorado Health Foundation, you contribute greatly to sustainability initiatives, the restaurant industry, and so much more. As well, you have engaged with DU students in our Fritz Noble School of Hospitality Management, giving them access to your expertise and experience and helping them define their own careers. It's our honor to celebrate your tremendous accomplishments and recognize the difference you are making in Denver and beyond. Now, we have the pleasure of learning more about your journey and getting a behind-the-scenes look at Chook Charcoal Chicken.
Welcome to Chook Charcoal Chicken. My name is Adam Schlegel. I am the founder, along with my partners Alex Seidel and Randy Lehman, of our little chicken shop. And just to give you a little bit of a brief background on why, my wife is from Australia, and luckily my family spent a number of years down there. And we moved back to the States in about 2014. And my wife actually brought it up. She's like, one of the things we really miss is our neighborhood chicken shop. And for us, it was just this it was this sense of calm. Usually the story goes, I'm running late and my family's hungry. We don't have anything set for dinner. And I wanted to find something fast, delicious, affordable, and healthy. Something that I was really proud to have my kids eat. And so when we came back, threw out this notion to my friend Alex many times, and it took him about 2 or 3 years. And really the thing I think that was the catalyst for Alex is that we didn't just want to create another restaurant, that we are involved in restaurants. We've done a lot of restaurant work. It's really hard. But how could we do something different? How could we have a restaurant that stood for more, that had for more impact? So you see we have our B Corp certification back there, which again is an emblem of us trying to work on sustainability and community and so many issues to actually be bigger than just another business, be bigger than a restaurant. How do we have just profound impacts across the board? So very mission-driven business, but we're a chicken shop, so it should be fun. And you'll see the spit behind us. So, the chickens that we actually went out and searched high and low, went out and met the farmers, and know exactly where our food comes from. We know where our cheese comes from. We know where our chickens come from. We know where our lettuce comes from and our potatoes. The impact we have as an environmentally sound restaurant can't be understated, and hopefully can be something emulated by so many restaurants across, whether it's waste diversion, knowing where your food comes from. We give 1% of all of our sales directly back into the community. So again, we're just trying to prove out that business can work and also be an integral part of the community. But let's just be honest, the food's delicious, and that's probably most important. So thanks, and hope to see you soon.
Hi, I'm Elaine Velanski. I'm at the Morgridge College of Education, and I'm the director of the Center for Rural School Health and Education. Thank you for having us. This is so fun. It smells amazing in here.
It's getting there. Yeah.
And congratulations.
Thanks.
How exciting. I was doing the math. You're 10 years younger than me. We won't reveal what the starting number is, but you've accomplished so many things in such a short period of time. And I find myself really curious about what's going to happen from this point onward, but I just want to pause to acknowledge everything that you've accomplished so far. And I'm sure it's not like a complete list, but here are the things that I know about. You founded Chook. You founded Snooze, which is, I've been to Snooze. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
You are on the board of directors for several nonprofits and foundations. It's incredible. You graduated in 1999, and all of those things are on your list already. Plus, you're the CEO of a consulting company.
Yep.
And I'm sorry if I don't get the words exactly right.
No, it's called Cumulus.
Okay.
Cumulus, etc. But essentially just kind of a consortium of a way to help dive into the myriad of opportunities or issues that are at hand. So whether it's a food system, a soccer field, a wave park, or just helping out friends or family. Just another opportunity to dive in, because I like to dive into different areas.
And I'm glad you said that, because I want to talk about some of those areas. And I just want to say one more time, it's really amazing. I mean, you're a relatively young man, and you've accomplished so many things. And I know that the University of Denver is extremely proud of you. They're extremely proud of what you've done related to the public good, which is such a core mission of the University of Denver. And I'm hoping that we can talk about some of that public good focus that you've had too.
Thank you.
Okay, so my first question is, what are you most excited about these days? You've already listed a few things, so what's really getting you excited to wake up in the morning, to live your day?
Yeah, I think I kind of think of like both excited but then also motivated, because sometimes the work that needs to be done isn't necessarily like punch the cloud, like I'm super excited to wake up, but I feel it's important. So when I think of like exciting, like Chook is obviously something I'm very passionate and excited about. Like I love what we do. I love the meals that we're able to prepare. I love the families that we're able to impact. I love the style of business. I really believe that business has this opportunity to be a force for good. And so trying to create that as we did so much at Snooze and try to really emulate that, to be profound impacts on our communities and our environment and transparency and opportunities, like that's super exciting to me. And then a myriad of other random projects like soccer fields or wave parks. And then there's things that I'm simply just motivated by. We've talked about food and the food systems, and that's something I've learned a lot about over the years. And I'm constantly trying to find ways to help. The environment has always been something I've been very passionate about. And so continuing to try to find new and innovative and creative ways while also doing the same things right at the outset. And even to things like gun safety, which are very important to my family and I think really our community. Those are just a number of the projects, but the day is young. Chances are I'll probably find something else to get excited about.
There's so many follow-ups I want to ask you. Hopefully I can retain them. I'm going to start with Chook for just a moment. Tell me a little bit, give me an example of how the way in which this business operates is having a positive impact on the community.
Sure. Well, one thing, we actually are an established B Corp. And so for those that aren't familiar with a B Corp, it's benefit corporation. You have to change your legal structure to do that. And you take this really rigorous test to ensure that you're meeting these high standards. And it's on things like transparency, governance, your community impact, your sustainability impact, your the way you treat your employees, suppliers. So it really is this kind of like soup to nuts quota that you have to meet, and it is with companies like Patagonia and Ben & Jerry's and New Belgium Brewing Company, like companies I really hold great regard for. So when it comes to things like the environment and diverting over 90% of all of our waste away from a landfill, to where we source our food. We went out and found where we wanted our chickens to come from, and we went to the farms and we met the farmers and the ranchers to understand that ethics. I think having done Snooze and knock on wood, it was successful and wonderful. It's wanting to create Chook to just be positive, just to be a positive, kind of pebble or stone that rolls down the hill in each of its actions, from communities to our people to our suppliers to everyone else. So there's a whole consortium of things that we try to do just to really be a better business.
That was helpful to hear. And I'm curious about the soccer fields. You've mentioned them a couple of times. Tell us more.
Yeah, I think in just the random projects that come up, my two boys, they adore soccer. I love soccer. And so I've been working with a friend about trying to create some futsal fields, which are small scale soccer pitches around. The World Cup is hopefully coming to Colorado in 2026. And, I'm part of that bid committee, and part of that is like the legacy and what it brings. And, it is things like soccer and like sport, I think, that have such a profound impact on a young person's development and appreciation. And then certainly just, from a worldview, which I think is so important. You see things like food or like soccer. These are like universal religions, cultural pieces that are put together, and it's just fun.
Yeah.
Soccer's fun.
Yeah.
Why not?
I'm going to shift if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so food systems. I know that's something that you are motivated around.
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit about what does food systems mean, and what are some of your hopes in that area?
Well, food systems, you look at the whole cycle of food, and it's where it's grown and what are the aspects of the folks that are actually working in that farm. How is it brought from a farm or a ranch to a place of distribution, or perhaps like a further processing to get us baby carrots or to cut up lettuce, and as it flows into who actually distributes the foods, whether it's to restaurants or to supermarkets or to a number of other facets. And this is something I was really able to dive deep into at Snooze, and learned a considerable amount about, and really it comes down to a kind of a broken food system that we have, where you're seeing the continued loss of a lot of small and mid-scale farms. There's obviously a huge degradation to our soil. 1 in 7 children are hungry in Colorado right now, and it actually went to 1 in 4 during the COVID pandemic. So it's an injustice, and it is something that is very tricky and complicated, but one that, I have made my living in the food business, in the restaurant business, and with that, again, I kind of have this sense of responsibility to try to make it better going forward. And we did that in Snooze in the way that we source food, and we do that here at Chook in how we do it. But I think that there's a bigger systemic opportunity to do it. And so we've even talked about trying to create something called like a regional food system. So how can we actually aggregate, process, and distribute food to so many, and really help out our small and mid-scale farms, and in the same instance have places like the University of Denver or our hospital systems or our penitentiaries that want that food, want that health that comes with the right source of food, to provide those opportunities. So that's something that energizes me, it motivates me, it depresses me, because it's something I've been working on for years and years and years, and I don't really know if we've made the right dent. But you can't stop trying, and you see the opportunities that kind of exist for our rural and for our urban communities, and how does that not motivate you to not try to help figure out what seems like a solvable problem.
Mm-hmm. Is there something big that you think it's going to take 10 to 20 years to happen that you wish could happen right now?
How long can we have that list going for? I do think like a regional food system, like eventually we will get to that place, because right now our system is failing us, and our food has become more of an ill than a cure, and food should have the opposite effect, certainly in this country. And you see it a lot in other countries, the appreciation and the culture and collaboration that comes with food. So I think in 10 or 20 years, we will have these more regionalized systems, and it will help us prosper growing. That Colorado, which actually has a very robust agricultural system, but it can be amplified. We can be growing the right products for our region. We can utilize these 300 days of sunshine to augment it. We can build a better local network of farming systems. We can just reconnect people to the food. And so things like a public market, which proliferate, throughout the world, are really these like museums that connect us to this wonderful resource, which is really just like one of the essentials of life, is healthy access to food, and safety and security all allow us the opportunity to prosper. But we're kind of missing one of those vitals right now, which is simple health and access to food.
Are there certain things that you think the University of Denver could be doing to support some of these changes you hope to see?
I think DU is making strides, and so that should be applauded. But when it comes to things like sourcing, what goes on in a cafeteria could be purchased directly from a number of different purveyors and providers. And I think that those things, and I think DU has that opportunity to be real thought leaders in changing that so that we can get many of these other institutions doing it. Just the vast knowledge of faculty to students that are there, working on assignments and projects, going directly to the San Luis Valley to understand soil, to crop rotation, to just simple business skills and how to move those things forward. I think that DU has such an opportunity to make such a profound impact across our state. And that's something that I really hope DU can leverage all of its resources to realize that it is an integral part of this whole Rocky Mountain region, and that by lifting all of our communities, it really is raising the entire tide.
I have one more question for you, and that is, what advice do you have for DU students who are graduating and are about to take their next steps?
Travel. Travel to me has been the biggest source of education. I've spent most of my life beyond DU doing that. I moved to Australia where I met my wonderful wife. Spent lots of time in South America and Central America and Asia. And there's nothing like seeing a culture and understanding that to really change your perspective, and that a textbook or a similar sized class can only teach you so much, but it's just those real life experiences that are the most vital. And to also be willing to take a chance. Stay with a job longer than you would want to. Learn, never stop that concept that you've learned a lot. I can learn so much from you. I can learn so much from these just different opportunities, and so trying to embrace that. It's a long journey, and that you want to have a rich life, and I think a rich life is a life full of experience.
That's excellent advice. I really wanted to ask you, since we're sitting in Chook Chicken Restaurant, something that I think children across America want to know. Adam Schlegel, what came first, the chicken or the egg?
It's actually easier for me because snooze came first, and snooze is pretty egg-centric. So in my world, the egg did come first.
Fair enough. Thank you so much, and congratulations.
Thank you very much. Pleasure. Thank you so much.